the Indiana Fever are that golden destination. And I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
Sheryl Swoopes made a bold statement a while ago, confidently claiming that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever wouldn't be able to land top free agents. Fast forward to today, and Indiana just had one of the most impressive free agency runs in league history. Meanwhile, Sheryl's predictions couldn't have been more off the mark. At this point, it's hard to take her seriously, especially with the Fever's success making her comments look completely out of touch. Someone should check in on her because it's clear that her credibility has taken a big hit.
People in the Fever were like, that's
not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to.
Let's take a moment to reconsider. Yes, Sheryl Swoopes is a Hall of Famer and a true legend of the game, but recently, she seems to have taken on the role of full-time Caitlin Clark skeptic. She's been working hard to push some questionable opinions. She boldly stated that the Fever wouldn't attract top talent because of supposed locker room problems. Well, fast forward to today, Indiana has locked in some incredible players, building a powerhouse team. And now Sheryl is left on the sidelines, trying to act like she didn't completely miss the mark with her prediction.
Stephanie White came in and said, okay, hold up. Let me go to Indeed.com and Indeed get some free agents to come in here that want to play, that are accomplished, seasoned veterans. She did all that. Sheryl's been nowhere to been found. Sheryl got a lot of crow to eat, folks. Sheryl could be choking on crow right now. She need that Heimlich maneuver. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, tell her it's okay to come out and talk and say, man, you was wrong. It's okay.
I can only imagine Sheryl scrolling through her phone, stunned, thinking, no way these players actually chose Indiana. But yes, it happened. Natasha Howard, Dana Borner, Sophie Cunningham, and even Aisha Wilson's best friend, Sydney Coulson, all signed with the Fever. Indiana didn't just win free agency, they absolutely crushed it. When Coulson was asked why she chose the Fever, the answer spoke volumes.
Yeah, I talked to Sydney Coulson today. She said that Kelsey Mitchell was actually the first person she hit up because they built a bond here, playing AU for the last 3 years. She said she heard some good things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin as well, so that made the decision easy.
Oh, the irony. Sydney Coulson specifically mentioned wanting to play alongside Kelsey Mitchell, one of the exact players Sheryl Swoopes had dismissed. And, of course, she also wanted to team up with Caitlin Clark, the same Caitlin Clark Sheryl confidently said would need years to adjust to the WNBA. Years, really? Meanwhile, Clark is out here effortlessly dropping 40-point games, while Swoopes takes are aging like an unrefrigerated gallon of milk.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
Man, I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
At this point, it seems like hating on Caitlin Clark has become a sport, and Sheryl Swoopes is aiming for the gold medal. In fact, she's probably sweeping the podium, gold, silver, and bronze, all while the Fever celebrate yet another major victory. Remember when she said Caitlin wouldn't translate to the WNBA? Yeah, tell that to Indiana, who's stacking top-tier talent like they're assembling the Avengers. Caitlin Clark isn't struggling, she's thriving. And the Fever? They're right there with her, proving every single doubter, including Swoopes, dead wrong.
No, but players who will be free agents next year. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Let's be honest, the real reason some WNBA veterans and so-called legends can't stand Caitlin Clark is because she didn't play by the rules they set. She didn't wait her turn, didn't ask for permission, and sure as heck didn't tiptoe into the league with some humble "I hope I fit in" attitude. No, she stepped in, shattered 62 records, won over the fans, and single-handedly took women's basketball to new heights. And that? Oh, that really gets under their skin.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
Caitlin Clark didn't need anyone's approval to become the face of women's basketball. She's gained more global recognition than half the WNBA combined, and honestly, that's just what happens when you're a once-in-a-generation talent. Sheryl Swoopes, Angel Reese, A'ja Wilson, and the entire Auntie Clark crew are going to have to accept that fact because, while they are busy complaining, Caitlin is out here making history, selling out arenas, and turning the Indiana Fever into the team everyone wants to join. Just take a moment to appreciate this. The Indiana Fever, a team once ignored and irrelevant, is now the epicenter of women's basketball. A team nobody cared about a year ago is now the most exciting in the league. That's not just impact, that's undeniable proof of who really moves the needle.
No, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
So Sheryl, what happened to your claim that players don't want to go to Indiana? Who exactly were you talking to, the ghosts of teams past? Because real, high-caliber players are signing with the Fever like it's the VIP section of an exclusive club. Did she seriously think Caitlin Clark would have to beg people to join her? Let's be real.
Went even further when a game that Sheryl Swoopes was calling for the Dallas Wings, where the commentator was talking about how great Caitlin Clark had been playing. Sheryl Swoopes, silent for 60 seconds, didn't even want to address it. And it got so bad that the game that Dallas then went to play against the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, after the domination of the Chicago Sky, Sheryl Swoopes got pulled from the broadcast.
Somebody check on Sheryl because it seems like she's stuck in 2002, back when the Indiana Fever were scraping together rosters like they were holding open tryouts at the local YMCA. Newsflash, times have changed. This isn't Tamika Catchings dragging a squad of part-time gym teachers to the playoffs anymore. The Fever aren't struggling to recruit talent, they're stacked. Natasha Howard, a defensive powerhouse, a champion, and an offensive weapon all in one, signed with Indiana and made it crystal clear she wanted to be here.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
What's next? Is Sheryl going to claim Caitlin Clark isn't actually a generational talent? Or that Angel Reese is somehow the best player in the league? At this point, with all these free agent signings, the Indiana Fever aren't just looking competitive, they're looking like the blueprint for success. Honestly, Sheryl could tell me water is wet, and I'd still feel the need to double-check. The funniest part? The same players Sheryl confidently claimed wouldn't even consider Indiana are now packing their bags, ready to join the movement, asking, "Where do I sign?"
I think she's a great player. I'm happy to be on the side of her now instead of guarding her. Of course, she's a dynamic player, and you see that in what she's done in her rookie year. And I'm actually excited to see what she's going to do her second year in the league with a little bit, more experience and understanding a little bit more.
Now, let's talk about A'ja Wilson, because this is where things get even funnier. A'ja, the so-called face of the WNBA, just watched her bestie, Sydney Coulson, leave Las Vegas to team up with Caitlin Clark. Imagine waking up, checking Twitter, and realizing your right-hand woman just dipped to play with the exact player you've been trying to downplay. Oh, the betrayal. The drama. This is prime reality TV material. But here's the kicker, A'ja isn't even the main character anymore. Caitlin Clark is.
To be honest, I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated, and I just kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, so this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more. But I promise you that I'm just ready to win. I'm ready to win. I'm ready for y'all to be there. But like I said, you guys haven't even seen feisty yet.
Let's be real, Sheryl Swoopes hyping up A'ja Wilson like she's the second coming of Michael Jordan is starting to sound pretty desperate. Meanwhile, the Aces are falling apart faster than Angel Reese's shooting percentage. Sydney Coulson's gone, key role players are vanishing, and that so-called Aces dynasty is looking shakier by the minute. As for A'ja, she's handling it the only way she knows how, tweeting dramatic messages about crying and pretending everything's fine. Hate to break it to you, but it's not fine. Meanwhile, Indiana is out here stacking talent like Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. Caitlin Clark isn't just the franchise player, she's the gravitational force pulling everyone to the Fever. Players want to play with her. They see the vision. They see the future. They see the unstoppable momentum. And poor Sheryl? She's stuck in the past, still trying to convince herself that Caitlin Clark isn't a game changer.
You know that I'm very excited, and I really agree with a lot of the moves the Indiana Fever have made. There's not been one trade or pickup that the Indiana Fever have made that I have not been on board with. I'm on board with every single one. And I just want to say the fact that the Indiana Fever have gone out and got these great players like a Natasha Howard, like a DeWanna Bonner, like a Sophie Cunningham, the fact that they've gone out and got these great players shows that they believe Caitlin Clark is great right now. They are on board with the Caitlin Clark vision, and it just makes me happy because they're not treating Caitlin Clark like a rookie who is gonna be good in 10 years. No, they're treating her like a superstar who is good right now.
Got it. Here's a more polished and engaging version of that text. We all know Sheryl's about to start with the back in my day routine, acting like Caitlin Clark wouldn't have been successful in the old WNBA. Really, Sheryl? Because nothing screams top-tier basketball like wearing oversized baggy shorts, missing mid-range shots, and calling it fundamental. The game has changed, and Caitlin Clark is now setting the new standard.
The Fever. And by the way, every single narrative about the Fever is like whatever about them signing Sophie Cunningham, who they don't like. They love DeWanna Bonner. Like these people, they signed DeWanna Bonner. And again, they were saying, like, we have actual people working for networks being like, DeWanna Bonner will never sign for the Fever for obvious reasons. And I'm like, what are the obvious reasons? Genuinely, what are the obvious reasons? They are basketball players.
Let's not forget Sheryl keeps complaining that Caitlin Clark is only getting attention because of the media. Oh, you mean the same way ESPN pushed you as the face of the league back in the day? Funny how it was fine when you were getting all the spotlight, but now that it's Caitlin, it's suddenly a problem. The math isn't adding up, Sheryl. It's coming off more like insecurity disguised as analysis.
See, I'm really trying here not to crash out, okay? I can't take too much more. I just said the other day, what did I say? Another bomb is Sunday. I said, this isn't it. You know, I can't wait to see what the next bomb would be. Didn't know this would be the bomb. Stephanie White ain't playing fair. I have to say it again. Stephanie White is not playing fair. She on one.
Now let's talk about A'ja Wilson, because this is where things get even funnier. A'ja, the so-called face of the WNBA, just watched her bestie, Sydney Colson, leave Las Vegas to team up with Caitlin Clark. Imagine waking up, checking Twitter, and realizing your right-hand woman just dipped to go play with the exact player you've been trying to downplay. Oh, the betrayal, the drama. This is prime reality TV material, except A'ja isn't even the main character anymore. Caitlin Clark is.
I was like in tears, y'all.
While other teams are scrambling, the Fever are looking dangerous. Indiana is moving like a championship contender in the making. The Aces thought they had more time? Nope, their title window just slammed shut. Chicago is still figuring out their next move, and Connecticut is falling apart in real time. But Indiana? They're here, they're serious, and they're coming for that trophy.
Indiana Fever are officially title contenders. Every day they have something new for us in free agency. And today, it's Miss DeWanna Bonner. 6-time WNBA All-Star and WNBA champ, a veteran in this game, can pretty much do it all. Also an enforcer, nasty defense. Should I continue? We have a new starting five. Caitlin at the 1, Kelsey at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the 5.
And that's exactly why Sheryl is spiraling. She sees the writing on the wall. She knows Caitlin Clark isn't just the future of the WNBA, she's the present. Caitlin is already the face of the league, and she's about to take over in a way no one has before. The way she casually pulls up from the logo like it's nothing? That's a game changer. The way she threads passes that leave defenders lost? That's special. And the fact that she's got the WNBA breaking records before her second season even begins? That's generational. When Caitlin inevitably wins MVP in her second year, the meltdown from Sheryl Swoopes is going to be legendary. She'll be on every podcast, panel, and interview ranting about how the game was different back in her day. Your time has passed. This is the Caitlin Clark era now, and the Fever are coming for that championship.
That doesn't make any sense by any stretch of the imagination. In what way would you not want to play in Indiana? The place where you're getting sold out arenas, the most viewership on television, playing with a player who was top 3 in MVP voting as a rookie, who clearly elevates her teammates around her. She scores a lot, but she is also dishing out the ball, able to elevate everyone around her. Why wouldn't you want to be